Soft Rock 1977. 1977 wasn't just another year, it was the moment rock decided to ease off the gas, take a deep breath, and speak straight to the heart. All of a sudden, these smooth, laid-back grooves showed up and rode shotgun in old cars, brand new romances, and quiet moments that said more than any conversation ever could. Today, we're rolling the windows down and heading back to that unforgettable year when soft rock proved you didn't have to scream to hit hard. 15. Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel.
I'll take you just the way you are.
Maybe you remember those late-night ballads playing low when the house was finally quiet. Just the Way You Are was special because it didn't chase impossible love or make over-the-top promises. It just said something a lot of guys back then had a tough time getting out. Don't change a thing. I love you exactly the way you are.
Just want someone.
You'd hear it and think about the woman lying next to you, maybe worn out from the day, maybe full of doubts, and realize you didn't tell her nearly enough how much she meant. It didn't explode out of the gate, but late-night request shows and call-in dedication hours kept spinning it until it became a quiet classic. Play it now, with half a century under your belt, and you're right back looking at the person who was there while you were still figuring life out. Before we move on, drop your name and how old you are in the comments. Let's keep cruising. 14. It's Sad to Belong by England, Dan, and John Ford Coley. It's Sad to Belong hit on something uncomfortable but real. Falling for the right person at the absolute wrong time may be a story you've lived yourself. The song's about a married guy who realizes the love of his life is someone else. No soap opera hysterics, just calm, quiet regret. In 1977, Till Death Do Us Part was still the rule, but cracks were starting to show. Plenty of guys driving home from work heard this and got real quiet because they knew exactly what it was talking about. The melody was polite, gentle, never pointed a finger, just painted that bitter feeling of showing up late to your own life. Fun fact, it sparked letters to magazines and call-in debates. Some folks thought it was dangerous, others said it was the most honest thing on the radio. Either way, we all agreed it was a killer track. Smash that like if you're a soft rock fan too. Let's roll. 13. Lost Without Your Love by Bread. Love's the best thing going, but lose it and it can feel like the ground disappeared. Lost Without Your Love sounded like Bread's final sunset, the voice of someone admitting they're completely lost without that one person. It felt written for those nights staring at the ceiling, half the bed cold, wondering how you keep going. No screaming, no drama, just that tight throat ache you hid from everybody else, but the song pulled it right out into the open. This was one of Bread's last big chart moments, so a lot of us heard it like the closing credits on a chapter of our own lives. Play it today, and it takes you straight back to that first grown-up heartbreak that actually hurt worse than any teenage crush. You Made Me Believe in Magic by Bay City Rollers.
Believe that love has gone.
This one sneaks up on you, your foot starts tapping before you even realize it, then you catch the lyrics about finding faith in love again after getting burned. In 1977, the Bay City Rollers were still teen idol crazy, but with You Made Me Believe in Magic, they handed us a little miracle. Upbeat, simple, perfect for backyard parties, summer cookouts, windows down, radio up. cool thing. Despite the teeny bopper image, this song crossed over hard to adult variety shows, turning living rooms into a place where parents and kids sang the same chorus. 11. We Just Disagree by Dave Mason.
Been away, haven't seen you in a while.
Sometimes love doesn't end with slammed doors and screaming. It just fades because two people aren't walking the same road anymore. And man, that can hurt worse than any fight. This was the soundtrack for the ones who knew it was over but couldn't point to a single villain. Just slow, quiet wear and tear.
In the end, we just disagree.
Dave Mason sings it like he's living it. Honest, tired, sad, but fair. Even if you hadn't been through it yet, you felt every word. It taught a whole generation that you can still love somebody and know it's time to let go. On and On by Stephen Bishop. This one feels like a warm afternoon turned into music, talking about broken hearts and hard times, but underneath it all saying the simplest truth. Life keeps moving, ready or not. By 77, a lot of us were punching clocks, raising kids, paying bills, and this song was the gentle reminder that the world wasn't stopping for anybody's heartache. Stephen Bishop doesn't complain. He just observes, like a guy who's seen some miles and knows how it goes. It was all over working man radio, became the soundtrack for regular folks far from the Hollywood lights. That everyday honesty is what made it stick forever. What's your all-time favorite soft rock tune? Drop it in the comments so we can all spin it. 9. I Go Crazy by Paul Davis.
Hello girl, it's been a while.
Paul Davis nailed that moment life loves to throw at you, running into the one who got away years later. She's got a new life, maybe a new guy, and you're smiling on the outside while everything inside is shaking.
Crazy. When I look in your...
You thought you were over it, then one look, and boom, you're right back there. It hung around the charts forever. Not because it exploded, but because it just wouldn't leave, week after week, sitting with you and your memories.
It starts burning inside, way deep down.
Hear it now, and you're right back in that grocery aisle or gas station where it actually happened. Polite small talk on the surface, tornado underneath. 8. Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold. On the surface, it's bright and bouncy, but dig in and it's the tough story of a kid who always felt on the outside looking in, even in his own house. It walks you from childhood to grown-up years, showing how that early ache never totally goes away. A lot of us heard it and flashed back to the new baby brother, the parents too busy, learning to keep quiet and deal. In the late 70s, The Perfect Family was still the billboard, but people were starting to talk about the loneliness that could live right inside four walls. Lonely Boy gave it a voice. Andrew later said it wasn't 100% autobiography, just enough truth mixed with fiction so everybody could see themselves in it. 7. So Into You by Atlanta Rhythm Section. You know a song's great when it paints a whole scene the second it starts. Slow nights, dim lights, that pull you can't fight. It's not about grand speeches, just that speechless moment when someone's got you hooked. Back in 77, you still had to walk across the room, catch an eye, maybe work up the nerve to ask for a dance, and this was the perfect background for exactly that. The vocals almost a whisper, like the guy's finally getting the courage to admit he's in deep. They used to be a harder southern rock band, but this smooth detour won them a whole new crowd and our everlasting respect. 6. Sentimental Lady by Bob Welch. Bob Welch songs feel like flipping through an old photo album. Edges worn, but you can't throw it away because every picture floods you with memories. Sentimental Lady is about a woman who sticks with you not because of fireworks, but because of the little things. The way she looked at you, the way she said your name. It was made for those quiet nights, pulling out old letters, or just closing your eyes and letting her face come back. Bob sings it soft and respectful. No bitterness, just gratitude and a little sweet sadness. The voice of a guy looking back with a smile. Cool trivia, he actually wrote it years earlier with Fleetwood Mac, but the solo version is the one that stole our hearts for good. 5. Year of the Cat by Al Stewart. This could have been a movie all by itself. A stranger in a strange land meets a mysterious woman, and the whole day slips out of time, like the real world's waiting on the next train. We all got lost in those dusty streets, foreign smells, one perfect day that changed everything. Al sounds like he's telling you the story over coffee 30 years later, still a little amazed it happened. He's admitted it was inspired by old movies and Eastern culture, and you can feel that cinematic vibe from the first piano note. Subscribe if you want us to do a countdown of your favorite rock subgenre next. 4. Sometimes When We Touch by Dan Hill. Sometimes When We Touch put words to a fear a lot of guys wouldn't admit back then, being scared of how much you feel. It's a straight-up confession, wanting her, needing her, but terrified of the intensity. Till the fear in me subsides. Times were different. Men were supposed to be tough, not get misty-eyed, so hearing a guy lay his insecurities bare was a shock and kind of a relief. The melody builds like he's working up the nerve line by line. It was loved, mocked for being too sappy, but that raw honesty is exactly why it's still around. 3. When I Need You by Leo Sayer. Anybody who lived through this one knows Leo Sayer's voice was the sound of long-distance love. No cell phones, no FaceTime, just expensive phone calls, letters, and pictures you kept in your wallet. It was comfort for every guy staring out a hotel window or a tiny apartment, closing his eyes and pretending she was right there. The melody became a template for a million love ballads after it, covered by everybody because the feeling is universal. 2. Baby Come Back by Player. This one is a grown man on his knees, no excuses, no tough guy act, just I screwed up, nothing's right without you. Catchy as hell, played at every party and bar, but underneath that groove was real regret. More than a few guys wish they'd had the guts to say it to her face. There was something in everything about you. Took a virtually unknown band straight to the top, proof that pure honesty can cut through all the noise. Hear it now, and you're thinking about the one you wish you could hit rewind on. One fight, one dumb moment you'd take back in a heartbeat. 1. Don't Give Up on Us by David Soul.
The future isn't just one night.
We're closing out this soft rock ride with the guy we loved on TV, and turns out on the radio too. David Soul, better known as Hutch from Starsky and Hutch, dropped this gentle plea that shot straight to #1 on both sides of the Atlantic.
Don't give up on us, baby. We're still.
It's a simple ask. Things got rough, but don't close the door yet. Give us one more shot. No big speeches, just hope whispered over an acoustic guitar.
Don't give up on us, baby.
Today, with 55 plus years in the rear view, it's less about young love fights and more about all the times you and your partner looked at each other and said, "We're not quitting," and how that choice paid off. That's our trip through 1977. Friends, we'll leave another oldies playlist linked below if you want to keep the mellow vibes rolling. Catch you on the next one, and keep those smooth classics close to your heart.